Hello, and welcome to What Are the Odds? In today's video, we will discuss the likelihood that the events are to be repeated in Bullet Train. We will use another split to determine the answer. We will focus on the key events of the movie, ignoring inconsequential or insignificant ones, or events with the sole purpose of becoming factors for other events. In other words, a transposition to an earlier or future event. If something is of high probability, we will also ignore its impact. After we've determined the key events in the story structure, we will use those for the final event's odds. Bullet Train follows multiple characters whose paths intersect on a bullet train. We'll examine the events of the film through the lens of Ladybug, a man whose bad luck is apparently legendary. We'll be examining just that today. We'll consider the moment he steps onto the train to be the film's inciting incident. We will use the factors of each event to help determine the odds of the successful outcome of each. Factors and events that were in place before the inciting incident occurred will be taken as facts of the world. They are simply part of the world's initial conditions. Ladybug is informed that the train has 16 cars, 10 economy and 6 first class. There is a 1-minute stop at every station. Joining Ladybug on the train are the father, Lemon and Tangerine, the son, the prince, the wolf, the boomslang, and the hornet. The father runs into the prince and gets tasered. Ladybug finds the briefcase he is there for and leaves the train. However, he is stopped by Wolf. Event number 1. Ladybug gets stopped by Wolf. Factors include the door that's chosen. The prince threatens to kill the father's son, Wataru. Without the briefcase full of money, Tangerine reckons that they are in trouble with the White Death. Tangerine describes him as a soulless, psychotic leader with the largest criminal organization on the planet. The prince wants the father to kill the White Death. When Lemon and Tangerine return to the son, he has been poisoned. The wolf wants to kill the one who killed his wife at his wedding. Event number 2. The wolf throws a knife that ricochets back into his chest. Factors include the knife throw. Ladybug props him up against a wall with a bottle in his hand to make it appear that he is just asleep. Meanwhile, Lemon and Tangerine are making the same effort with the son's corpse. Event number 3. At the next stop, Ladybug tries to leave once again, but is thwarted by Lemon's presence. He runs into a mascot that attempts to hold on to the briefcase and doesn't get out in time. Factors include the car chance and the door chance. The prince steals the briefcase from the car Wolf is in. Ladybug proposes a deal to Lemon, and Lemon denies it. Although the reason for the denial of the deal is in part a misunderstanding, Ladybug no longer has possession of the case, a key part of the transaction anyways. After knocking him out, Ladybug puts sleep powder in Lemon's drink and finds out the son is dead. After setting up a blockade between cars, Ladybug inadvertently unleashes the boomslang. When Tangerine breaks through the blockade, the snake gets further access to the car. After countless attempts, the father opens the briefcase. The prince loads it up with an explosive, the same way she planted an explosive in the gun given to the father to trick the White Death into killing himself. There has been 31 attempts on the White Death's life. Each one was executed with their own weapon. Using a tracker on the phone Ladybug lifted off Lemon, Tangerine finds Ladybug in the bathroom. They fight and, in a scramble with Tangerine, Ladybug hits an emergency button. The White Death asks for another confirmation check. Ladybug pretends to be Lemon and holds up another briefcase. Event number 4. When he spins the numbers, they randomly fall on the combination and it spills open, revealing it to be a fake. Factors include the spin. Lemon confronts the prince and the father. Ladybug tries to leave after telling Tangerine where he believes the case is, but Tangerine says he needs a fall guy. Ladybug times a minute out perfectly and kicks Tangerine out of the train. Tangerine breaks in through the back of the train to get in. Lemon shoots the father. Lemon figures out that the prince isn't just a schoolgirl, but passes out from Ladybug's sleep powder. The prince shoots Lemon. From the father's phone, Ladybug receives a call from the father's father, the elder. The Hornet's been in the mascot suit this whole time. She is the one that poisoned the sun and killed the entire wedding and its guests. Event number 5, the Hornet and Ladybug fight and they both end up getting poisoned. Only Ladybug receives the antidote in time. Tangerine finds Lemon unconscious. He believes him to be dead. Event number 6, Tangerine finds the prince with the diesel sticker on her back. Ladybug enters the car and in another scuffle, the gun goes off, killing Tangerine. Event number 7, the prince manipulates Ladybug into staying on the train with the case. The elder gets on the train. Ladybug gets bit by the boomslang and stuffs it into the toilet in a panic. The White Death took everything from the elder except for his son. The elder and Ladybug find the father and Lemon. Lemon had only fell asleep and was protected by a bulletproof vest. The elder, the father, Ladybug, and Lemon prepare to take on the White Death at Kyoto Station. The prince, the White Death's daughter, is the first to confront the White Death and enacts her plan. Ladybug brings the case outside. It turns out the White Death orchestrated the entire sequence of events, hoping everyone would kill each other, including Carver, whom Ladybug had replaced at the last minute. When they open the case, 2 henchmen blow up and fighting commences. Lemon tasks Ladybug with stopping the train as he fends off the attackers. The train crashes into another and keeps raging ahead. Lemon knocks an attacker out of the train along with himself into a body of water. Ladybug destroys the wiring of the emergency brake and the train starts to slow down. The train crashes through a wall and slides down a hill into a residential area. Event number 8, Ladybug is cushioned by the mascot suit. Event number 9, the White Death shows up and tries to kill Ladybug. He uses the trick gun and ends up getting his head blown in half. The prince shows up with a gun and gets run over by a van full of tangerines. In the end, it seemed that almost everyone was killed by their own weapons. The henchmen killed by their boss's briefcase, Wolf killed by his knife, Hornet killed by her poison, Tangerine killed by his gun, and the White Death killed by the gun acquired from his daughter. This film's final event is that Ladybug survives his mission and the White Death is taken out. Factors include being stopped by Wolf, Wolf dying, Ladybug's escape being thwarted, the spin, Hornet's death, Tangerine's death, Prince's manipulation, the crash, and White Death and the Prince dying. As for the reasons, this film's final event has 2 key parts to it, in that Ladybug survives his mission, not necessarily successfully, and the White Death is killed. For that reason, any event related to Ladybug's survival is crucial. Furthermore, any event that thwarts Ladybug from leaving the train and completing his mission before the White Death shows up is required. The second key ingredient is the White Death's involvement. The White Death planned for Lemon, Tangerine, his son, the Hornet, and Carver to be on the train as they all played a part in killing his wife. For that reason, I assume he'd have shown up in Kyoto regardless. However, he requested the checks anyways, despite knowing full well what was going on inside the train. Therefore, there is a chance the failed spin of the briefcase caused him to worry about the sanctity of his overall plan. Even if his plan went off without a hitch, he'd still have to kill off the survivor. With all that in mind, it's time to calculate the odds that Ladybug survives his mission and the White Death is taken out. First, Ladybug stopped by Wolf. For this event, we'll assume the chance that Wolf picks any door is equal. With approximately 2 doors per car, that comes out to 32, or 1 in 32. Next, Wolf is killed. Wolf could have been incapacitated similarly to Lemon. However, I don't believe he'd have a change in heart and would likely still hunt down the Hornet, his primary target, and Ladybug. Ladybug, meanwhile, likely wouldn't have killed him either. That only leaves the unlikely knife ricochet, which is likely Ladybug's only saving grace. For this, we'll assume the knife could have bounced any direction in a 180-degree manner in both the horizontal and vertical plane with equal chances. We'll approximate Wolf's torso to be the critical range. The average torso size for a 6-foot individual is 19.4 inches. To simplify, we'll take the target to be a 19.4-inch box. With Wolf about 6 feet away from Ladybug and the ricochet, we'll calculate the possible area the knife could have landed in. We get half a surface area of a sphere with a 6-foot radius and a 19.4 by 19.4 inch kill box in the middle. We'll convert feet to inches to get 6 feet equal to 72 inches. All we have to do is determine the percentage the box takes up. For that, we'll divide the formula for a sphere's surface area in half to get the following. Inputting the numbers, we get 2 pi 72 squared, which is equal to 32,572 inches squared. Meanwhile, the target box is solved by 19.4 times 19.4 inches to get 376.4 inches squared. We can see the units line up and can just determine the odds accordingly to get 1.16%. Section odds, 116 over 10,000, which reduces to 29 over 2,500. Ladybug's escape is thwarted. Now, this is simply a matter of determining how likely it was for Lemon to be stationed at the door and for the Hornet to intercept Ladybug in the adjacent car. As with the Wolf, we'll treat each door as equal for a 1 in 32 chance. The Hornet will get 1 in 16 odds for the chance she's in the right car at the time. Section total, 1 over 16 times 1 over 32 to get 1 over 512. The spin. I doubt this event's actual impact. However, we'll assume there is a 1 in 2 chance that the failed spin changes anything in the White Death's approach. As for the spin itself, the combination to the case is 3 digits long. Therefore, from 0 to 9, there are 10 different unique options. Simply a 1 in 10 that each digit is correct for the case to open. With 3 digits, the solution becomes 1 over 1,000. Section total, 1 in 2,000. Hornet's death. Ladybug and the Hornet were poisoned by the same syringe. However, Ladybug quickly stole the antidote from the Hornet's grasp. Similar to Wolf, we'll take the Hornet's death by poison to be the only solution for Ladybug. We'll take a box full of 1 in 2 probabilities to get a 1 in 2 that she ends up poisoned, a 1 in 2 chance he receives the antidote, as well as a 1 in 2 he is poisoned and a 1 in 2 she receives the antidote. Under these conditions, the only solution becomes a 1 in 2 she gets poisoned and a 1 in 2 she doesn't receive the antidote. Or in other words, a 1 in 4 that she dies. A 1 in 2 Ladybug is not poisoned, or a 1 in 2 Ladybug receives the antidote. Ultimately, a 3 in 4 that he survives. The key word is or here, solved in the following fashion. 3 over 4 times 1 over 2 squared, which is equal to 3 over 16. Tangerine's death. Tangerine's death would not have happened if Ladybug hadn't entered the car right at that time. Assuming he is entering another car right at that time with equal chances, we get a 1 in 16. Also, the odds that the gun had went off, killing Ladybug, will be simplified to 1 in 3, with the outside chance that the gun doesn't fire or misses both bodies, and Tangerine successfully convinces Ladybug of the prince's manipulation. Otherwise, a 1 in 2 Tangerine kills Ladybug anyway, despite Lemon's words. Section total, 1 in 16 times 1 in 3 times 1 in 2 to get 1 over 96. Prince's manipulation. Ladybug was completely fooled by the prince, so we'll calculate the odds he ends up leaving without her to be 1 in 2. The crash. Again, we'll take the odds that Ladybug is saved by the mascot suit to be 1 over 16 for the car they are both in. This is still only an approximation that excludes the probabilities that Ladybug survives under other conditions in another car, or just without the mascot suit in this one. The deaths. The White Death ran out of ammo in his first gun and decided to use the one he took from his daughter, a fatal mistake. Without knowing how many other weapons he had on him, we'll take a 1 and 2 that he uses the gun that blows up rather than another. For the prince's death, it seems especially avoidable if she had chosen to stand anywhere else. Given she walked up and stopped at an arbitrary point, we'll take her steps as the variable we will focus on. She was likely 3 steps away from safety. We'll take each step as a 1 and 2 chance to get a 1 over 2 cubed to get 1 over 8. Section total, 1 in 16. Multiplied all together, we get 1 over 32 times 29 over 2500 times 1 over 512 times 1 over 2000 times 3 over 16 times 1 over 96 times 1 over 2 times 1 over 16 squared to get 87 over 64 quadrillion 424 trillion 509 billion 440 million. Well, now we know if you were to travel to a random split with the exact same necessary initial conditions, the likelihood that you'd see these same events transpire and the successful outcome of the final event is 0.00000000000000135%.